Look at these photos. Seriously, they look like AI or a movie set or a dream someone had after eating too much Dutch cheese. This is Giethoorn, the village with no roads. I have seen these exact shots online 1,000 times, and honestly, I didn't believe it. I thought it was all filters and clever angles to hide a tourist trap. I got so curious that I finally had to just go. I had to see for myself if the reality is actually this vibrant or if social media is just lying to us again. So I grabbed my camera and set out on another adventure. You guys are watching Fullstack Nomads? Subscribe my channel if you are into adventures. We started our journey from Groningen in the morning. It took us around 3 hours to reach Giethoorn. Before you rent a boat, you need to know why this place exists. It wasn't built for tourists. Around 12:30, settlers arrived here and found something weird. Hundreds of wild goat horns buried in the mud, likely victims of a massive flood in 1170. That's why it's called Giethoorn, literally goat horn. And the weirdest part, this place wasn't meant to be cute. Back in the 1200s, people moved here and started digging up peat, basically old dead plants they used for fuel. But every time they dug a hole, it filled with water. They literally accidentally turned their own backyard into a giant maze of islands. They had to build over 180 bridges just to get to their neighbors. It's a town built by mistake, and now, centuries later, we are all paying 30 euros an hour just to try and navigate it. Which brings us to the boats. If you are coming here, you're dropping about 25 to 35 euros an hour for a whisper boat. We were 5 people, so had to book a bigger boat which cost us around 65 euros for 2 hours. If you somehow miss your time limit, you have to pay extra. But here's the reality check. They give these boats to anyone. No license, no experience, nothing. It's basically bumper cars on water. You will be trying to have this Zen fairy tale moment while a family of 5 from halfway across the world is slowly drifting sideways into your hull. It's absolutely chaos, but in a funny way. While I was walking around, the one thing I couldn't stop thinking about was, how do you live here? Like physically, how do you get an Amazon package delivered to a house with no road? The reality is actually kind of crazy. The mail carrier delivers by boat. When you buy a new couch, it arrives on a flat-bottomed boat. And garbage day? Yep, a literal trash collection boat sails down the canal to pick up your garbage. It sounds romantic until you realize you have to move a refrigerator across a wooden bridge in the middle of winter. There's another thing the Instagram reels conveniently crop out, the Dutch weather. Online Giethoorn is trapped in a permanent sunny summer afternoon. In reality, the weather here has mood swings. You will be in your little rental boat, the sun is shining, and 10 minutes later the wind picks up and you are freezing. If you come here, do not trust the blue skies in the photos. Bring a jacket, because getting stuck in a boat traffic jam while it's raining is a very specific type of character building. When you look closely, you realize why this place is so much better in person than in those heavily edited photos. The real beauty here is in the textures. Is the thick moss growing on the north side of the thatched roofs, the way the old weathered wood of the bridges creaks when you walk over it, and the hydrangeas that are just slightly overgrown. The photos online make it look like a smooth plastic. In reality, it feels lived in, it breathes. And honestly, the craziest part of the no roads rule isn't what you see, it's what you hear. Once you finally get past the bottleneck of tourist boats, the silence actually hits you. There's no low hum of traffic in the background. The only soundtrack is the wind moving through the reeds and the water slapping against the side of the wooden boats. It forces you to just drop your shoulders, slow down, and actually exist in the moment, at least until a duck yells at you. But the further you get from the main tourist strip, the more the vibe changes. The crowds thin out, the noise stops, and that's when the locals take over. And by locals, I mean the swans. I'm not kidding. The deeper we went into the canals, the more it felt like a swan kingdom. They aren't scared of you, they own the place. You're just a guest in their watery living room. If you want that peaceful Giethoorn experience, just follow the swans to the north side of town. That's where the real magic is. As the sun finally started to set, we parked the boat and stepped out onto one of the little islands. And honestly, this was the moment the whole trip clicked. The daytime rush was completely gone, the environment just wrapped around us. You could actually hear the birds chirping again. You notice these tiny wildflowers popping up through the grass, and only soundtrack is the gentle sound of the water lapping against the shore from the boats passing by. It was incredibly peaceful. And here is a massive tip. If you want this exact vibe, you can actually stay here. There are Airbnbs and little cottages tucked right along the water. If I were to do this again, I'd book one of those. Wake up at 6 am, make a coffee, and have the entire fairy tale village and the swans completely to myself before the crowds even wake up. If you can stay until the late afternoon, the whole village completely changes shape. The sun drops lower, the day trippers vanish, and the water turns into this massive mirror. Every single cottage and tree is perfectly reflected in the canals. It stops feeling like a crowded tourist attraction and finally starts feeling like the fairy tale you were promised. So is Giethoorn an Instagram lie? Honestly, yes and no. If you expect the neon bright artificial colors you see on TikTok, you might be a little disappointed. The real Giethoorn is more muted, more mossy, and a lot more brown. It's not a polished amusement park, it's a living village. I loved it, but not because it was perfect. I loved it because it's weird, it's beautiful in a way that feels old and heavy, not light and filtered. It's not an artificial lie. It's just a place that doesn't need the extra saturation to be special. If you come here expecting a quiet dream, you will be annoyed. But if you come to see a quirky, waterlogged piece of history, it's 100% worth the trip. Would you live in a house with no road access? Let me know in the comments. And if you are heading to the Netherlands, don't forget to check out my other videos on the unfiltered side of this country. I have also made videos about other beautiful cities of Netherlands. I'll leave all the links in the description. If you found my video exciting, please like and subscribe my channel. You can also buy me a coffee to show me support if you wish. That link would be also in the description. See you in the next video. Bye!